quarterback. It's a shootout. Jaden Daniels makes enough plays to make sure the Commanders win. Remember? Terry McLaurin down the seam, over the top. Remember? I remember. Joe Burrow didn't. 38-33 Commanders. Now we're talking about an 0-3 Bengals team that y'all are still lying to yourself in the mirror, telling yourself that they are a playoff contender, that Joe Burrow, because he's putting up big numbers, this is supposed to be good. This is supposed to be promising. And the way that y'all confirmed that bias was because they beat the damn Panthers. They got one win against the Panthers, and everybody got beside themselves. Oh, the Bengals are back. See, now they're starting to stack up the wins. They're going to be good again, 1-3. Then they go to overtime with the Ravens and lose again, 1-4. But it was the Ravens. It was close. It was overtime. Oh, blame the refs again, right? Like, this is the excuse. There's an eternal excuse train for this Cincinnati Bengals team. So following the Ravens loss, the Bengals beat the Giants by 10 points. Joe Burrow got a win over Daniel Jones. By the way, only putting up 17 in that game. Mister, I'm having an MVP season despite how bad my team has been around me. 17 points against the Giants. Next week, you're at the Browns, who have given up on the season already. 21-14 win. Like, okay, cool, you beat the Browns. Like, I'm supposed to celebrate that. I'm supposed to think that your season is reclaimed now. I still got Dan Orlovsky on Get Up every morning talking about how, watch out for the Bengals. The Chiefs should be worried about Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's the one quarterback you don't want to see in the playoffs. The problem is Joe Burrow don't want to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs. He ain't doing enough to win. Next game, Bengals-Eagles. Here's your chance to prove yourself. You're at home against a contender out of the NFC. The Eagles beat themselves more than other great teams, so this is your chance to prove yourselves. 20-point loss. How can we not call the season at that point, C-Cat? Am I wrong for, okay, I'll let y'all have y'all's hope. You can dangle your hope and optimism in front of these people like a Twinkie on a treadmill for Peter Griffin. You can do that. But when you get beat by 20 points at home against the Eagles, is it because it wasn't a primetime game that we weren't able to just back up the dump trunk and get rid of these guys into the nearest dumpster?
I think Burrow's been good enough to win games a couple of times throughout the season. I think that's a little bit extreme because, no, they didn't literally win last night, but Burrow was good enough to win that football game.
What are you talking about?
428 yards, 4 touchdowns.
What does that mean?
That means he put on a clinic as a passer, which is his job.
It absolutely doesn't matter because what matters in this league is wins and losses. Why is it that when Joe Burrow and the Bengals lose, everybody's like, oh, my God, but look at the stats. Look at the stats. Look at the misses. Look at the miss to the tight end. That's a game-winning play right there. He threw it over the dude's head. Either you're going to blame the tight end for not being athletic enough to go in high-pointed, it did touch his hands, or you're going to say, hey, Joe Burrow, your number one skill is ball placement. And on that 2-point conversion, when you needed it to win the game, Zach Taylor you would assume the right call, right? You're on that side of the fence. You got to go for 2 because that's what everybody said about the Bucs.
Yeah, I think you go for 2 there.
I'm glad they went for 2. And if you're going to go for 2, I'm winning or dying or losing or winning. I'm throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. But they didn't. I get it. He was a little bit covered. You threw it to what? Tanner Hudson is the name of the backup tight end?
Not Gesicki. Not even
Gesicki. You throw it to Tanner Hudson. The play was there. The play was there for Tanner Hudson to score that play. Everybody keeps trying to complain about a hold on Gesicki, which didn't happen. He tried to flop. You're not going to flop and get a call on a 2-point conversion with the game on the line like that. Everybody else is complaining about, Joe Burrow got hit in the face mask after he threw it. That didn't even affect the play. Joe Burrow missed on the throw to Tanner Hudson. He missed. He could have won the game right there. Then I would have given credence to, he made enough plays to win. No, he made enough plays to make his stats look really good. And half of those plays was throwing the ball to maybe one of the best receivers we've ever seen, especially after the catch. Half of those plays were that. I mean, am I lying? It's a smart move. I'm just saying, like, his stats looked good, cute. Win the damn football game. If your only wins are against teams that are 2-7 right now and you lost to the Patriots.
So how many quarterbacks, or rather, what's the worst quarterback in the NFL that you would have above Joe Burrow if you're throwing so much dirt on his grave? Because
I'm not throwing dirt on Joe Burrow's grave, though. I think
on their playoff hopes, they seem to be dead right now. They seem to be dead this morning.
Joe Burrow is closer to Jared Goff than he is the elite quarterbacks of this league.
So he's better than Jared Goff.
People would assume so, right? Like, you would think I want Joe Burrow over Jared Goff. That's what you would say, right?
Yeah, I would say.
And honestly, I'm starting to raise a question about that. Why? Why would you want Joe Burrow over Jared Goff? Today, right now, give me Jared Goff.
We saw Joe Burrow run for his life early in his career as signal caller for the Bengals, right? That was a thing where he had no protection, and he still made it happen. I know he had Jamar Chase. I know he had T. Higgins, but he had no protection back there.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw Joe Burrow kind of carry that team to a Super Bowl berth. I think with Jared Goff, it was not the same. I think that he was supported with his offensive line, and he had the weapons, and he had a pass rushing defense. Bengals, we saw them just fold in the second half. Did they give anything other than a touchdown drive to the Ravens in the second half of last night's game?
If you look at, and I hear you, it looked better, right? People like the style of play of Joe Burrow better because he runs a little bit more. It's a little prettier. He has a little bit more swagger. The ego is there. The post-game press conferences are nicer. You compare career accolades and statistics, Joe Burrow to Jared Goff, like, it's not even there's an argument to be made. Jared Goff is better. Jared Goff has been better in this football league. Joe Burrow's career achievement is beating Patrick Mahomes a few times. That's his whole thing. Still hanging his hat on that. By the way, there was a tweet somebody sent out, a Chiefs fan earlier today that I saw, talking about when they were parading around, calling it Burrowhead Stadium. They had this big picture in the snow. It was real cute. Since the Bengals coined the phrase Burrowhead, referring to Arrowhead Stadium, the Chiefs' home stadium, they are 13-15 with a 7-7 record at home and an 0-3 record at Kansas City. The Bengals had a run to the Super Bowl that was worth the hype. I was enamored with it too. It was a great run. It was fun. It was really cute. It was nice. They're not getting back there anytime soon. They are in a tier below the real AFC contenders, and they will be in the near future as well, because what they're going to pay Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and also not surrounding Joe Burrow with more talent on the offensive side and having to lose all of those defenders. Like, people blame the defense. I blame the contract. The Bengals are notoriously a cheap organization, and when you have to pay Joe Burrow that kind of money and you're going to have to pay Jamar Chase, there's going to be sacrifices on the other side. So now you're going to look at Joe and say, hey, win us a shootout. And he hasn't been able to do that. Shootout with the Commanders, couldn't do it. Commanders defense stinks too. Why didn't he win that game? Only put up 17 against the Eagles. We've seen the Eagles defense get taken advantage of.
But did Joe Burrow fumble the football that gave the Ravens all that momentum straight back? It was 21-7. If Chase Brown, I believe, was the running back who fumbled the football, doesn't drop the ball, I think we have a different result in that game.
Right. And if the Ravens defender, Brandon Stevens, doesn't, not get his second foot down on that end zone interception that Joe Burrow threw, it's a different game as well. We can go back and nitpick between all of these different plays that went one way or the other, and we could point blame. But here's the thing. If I told you before the game, though, C-Cat, the Ravens, a 6-point favorite. If I tell you before the game as a Bengals fan, you're going to have a 2-point conversion down by 1 with 30 seconds left for a chance to win. You take that.
If I'm a Bengals fan, I actually don't.
You don't
I think
take
they
that?
think they're a better football team.
That's the problem. They're
I truly
delusional.
think the Bengals are equal. They believe that they are equal with the Ravens as far as the AFC North goes.
Okay, so here's my question, too, then. What have they shown us this year to prove that? What have the Bengals done this year that tells me they're a good football team? Because there's not one game, one data point, one thing other than Joe Burrow has nice numbers that anybody can say that tells me this is a good, competent, competitive, contending football team.
Yeah, that's not much. It's got a lot of reputation they're hanging on for the AFC North crown.
And that's my whole thing here is we're giving them way too much credit for things they did more than 2 years ago now. And
So are we going to look at the Bengals 5 years from now like we looked at the Panthers after their run to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's a comparable right there?
One-hit wonders, man. Because here's the problem. It's not even a knock against Joe Burrow. I'm not saying that it's all his fault. I think he's a very, very good. He's a great football player. I just think I'm looking at the AFC now. And it's like, well, there's better guys. It's not his fault that there's better guys, but there are. In better ecosystems, with better organizations, with better coaches. So if they're going to pay you that kind of franchise quarterback money and we're going to credit you for turning around the Bengals and you are this huge difference maker, then be in that conversation. Like, nobody can replicate what Lamar Jackson did last night. Nobody can.
No, it's something we haven't seen on a football field.
You can't touch that. Even Patrick Mahomes can't do the things that Lamar Jackson can do. I say this about Lamar. Lamar Jackson at his best is the best quarterback ever. Lamar Jackson, when he's hitting, when he's firing, when he's like playing at his peak, nobody can touch what Lamar Jackson can do because he literally can do things no one else can even dream of. The difference is the reason why he's not better than Patrick Mahomes. He might be almost like the best talent at it, but he's not better. Is he doesn't consistently do that. You're going to get peak performances and good enough performances to win out of Patrick Mahomes more consistently than the ups and downs that sometimes comes with Lamar Jackson. That's the biggest difference between the two.
Yeah, I think so. I think you kind of put it perfectly right there. What you're watching on TV, your eyes aren't deceiving you. I know you can look at past postseason performances and the volatility in those spots with maybe different systems, as you mentioned before, but your eyes aren't lying to you, football fans.
Yeah.
You're not crazy. Like, I know it's not like any other quarterback you've ever seen in your life, but that's a good thing. It's a positive thing. The whole not bad for a running back thing. Yeah, you want your quarterback to be able to do the things that Lamar Jackson does with his legs.
Like, please be able. I want my quarterback to be so good at running that you're calling him a running back. That's a compliment. Because guess what else he's doing? Lamar Jackson, this from PFF. Lamar Jackson, when trailing in games this season, when the Ravens were behind, because remember, that was the big mark on Lamar early in his years. He's a front runner. He can't bring a team back. What happens if you're down in the playoffs? He showed it last night. Here's his stats. Trailing this season. 1,038 passing yards, 78% adjusted completion percentage, 273 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. When you're trailing, that means you're in a spot where people know you need to pass. They know you need to push the ball down the field. You're trying to make up ground. You're trying to score points here. The team knows you're in a position to pass, and he's doing it excellently. Last night, he was near perfect when the Ravens were down in that second half, and he had to come back. He made every play he needed to. Can we play? I know we got to talk Inter Miami soon. We have a guest coming on to talk some MLS Cup playoffs. Inter Miami has a big game coming up tomorrow. I want to play the sound. This right here, people, is a 10-yard scramble from Lamar Jackson, a 10-yard gain. I want you to count alongside with me in your head how long it takes for Lamar to gain 10 pivotal yards to put the Ravens in position to get a Derrick Henry touchdown. Take a listen.
Jackson backing up, backing away, under pressure, and down the sideline he goes. Lamar Jackson, can he stay in bounds all the way? He stopped.
He scrambled away from two literal defenders careening in his face, all the way to the sideline, pushed up the right sideline, passed the first down, and was like an inch and a half away from scoring on that play. It took, I think he didn't even cross the line of scrimmage. There was 10 seconds he spent behind the line of scrimmage before he ran another 10 yards.
It's the same exact thing Lamar Jackson did earlier this season against the Bengals.
Yes.
The result was a little bit different because he stiff-armed a man right into the ground, put him in his grave, and decided to not use his legs back in Week 5 against the Bengals. Ooh. He decided to use his arm. And what did he do? He threw a touchdown on that play. That time he rushed to the 1-yard line.
Lamar Jackson's the MVP this season. We can wrap that race up. We can wrap it up. Lamar Jackson's the MVP. He's going to win his 3rd MVP. Now we're going to have to start having legacy conversations about Lamar Jackson, where he ranks. Does he need that Super Bowl title to push him into the top 10? Is he already there? Like, he's on track. And anybody that is still doubting Lamar, doubting the Ravens, discrediting his ability to pass the football, I need you to explain yourself. I'm going to ask you to just specifically give me some details on what you're doubting in Lamar Jackson, and I have an assumption. I do. MLS Cup playoffs, Inter Miami tomorrow. They got a huge match against Atlanta United, so we got to break a little bit of this down. So on the other side, we're bringing in a very special guest who's going to give us some insight on what it means to Messi and the good folks out there playing in Fort Lauderdale. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey with Theoretically Speaking on a Football Friday on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen. If it's a slam dunk or a game-winning drive, it happens on ESPN 106.3. Nebraska and USC are up next at 3:30. Tennessee and Georgia close down Saturday night at 7:30. Tell a friend, tell an enemy. The game's right here on ESPN 106.3.
It's ESPN 106.3, your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes, and all of the biggest football matchups throughout the week. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at pnc.com.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP. 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Mornings. Nope, not my thing. But when I imagine a McDonald's breakfast in my hand, suddenly the snooze button is out of the picture. Now for a limited time, the 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast deal includes the sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, egg McMuffin, or the sausage McMuffin with egg. It's like a fist bump for breakfast that says, you've got this. It's time to gear up and seize the day. The breakfast hype is real. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Attention chicken lovers, we asked for it and McDonald's came through. Introducing the Chicken Big Mac. Treat yourself to the mouth-watering perfection of a Chicken Big Mac. 2 tender, juicy chicken patties sandwiched between a sesame seed bun, plus classic Big Mac sauce, tangy pickles, crisp lettuce, and a melty slice of American cheese. Hey chicken lovers, we did it. Order ahead in the McDonald's app and save 20% on orders over $10. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid through 12/31/24 at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Excludes tax. Must opt into rewards.
Festive fun is back on select nights. At Palm Beach Zoo, there's family fun. It's the best date night. Oh, Zoo Lights cheer here at Palm Beach Zoo. Oh, what fun it is to save wildlife at the zoo. Hey!
Zoo Lights, presented by Florida Power and Light Company and Discover the Palm Beaches, Florida. Get your tickets today at pbzoo.org/zoolights.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
History is literally on the line for Lionel Messi. I mean, what are they going to say about his legacy if he doesn't cross this hurdle that's coming up tomorrow? I mean, there's going to be a lot of doubts. A lot of doubts for the GOAT. That's this weekend. We have a special guest to talk some Inter Miami and Atlanta United. Before we get to that, though, I do want to tell you, join us for the Coors Light College Football Game of the Week as we feature Texas taking on the University of Florida. Yeah, that's tomorrow as well. The ESPN West Palm Street team will be at Bonefish Max in Port St. Lucie. It's going to be tomorrow from noon until 2. You can enjoy $4.75 drafts, $18.75 buckets of ice-cold Coors Light. Show us your tailgate talk skills as well for a chance to win a bunch of prizes courtesy of Palm Beach Autographs. You must be 21 or older to participate. Molson Coors reminds you to please drink responsibly. I don't know if I can full-throat it and seriously call Messi the GOAT if he doesn't bring Inter Miami to their next hurdle right here tomorrow night against Atlanta United. But the person that could really answer that question, because he has the football sense and knowledge, is our guy Chris Whittingham, play-by-play broadcaster for Apple TV, and he'll be on the call tomorrow night for Inter Miami Atlanta United. Chris, how's your Friday going?
Yeah, it's going great. I appreciate the introduction, and I appreciate you really dialing up the stakes for this Game 3 of Inter Miami Atlanta United. You're saying he can't be the GOAT unless he wins the game? We're playing big soccer in South Florida tomorrow night.
I'm just saying, like, how can if he can't get it done in the MLS, then how can I trust what he did overseas, right? Like, but Chris, in all seriousness, though, how in the heck did Atlanta United still win against Inter Miami? I thought that this was like a foregone conclusion that they'll be cruising into the second round.
To be fair, I thought so too. I really thought that Miami had a significant talent advantage over a team that sold $50 million worth of player over the course of the summer. They got rid of 4 guys.
Wow.
They brought in $50 million. They didn't really replace them very well. And so I genuinely thought that going into this series, it was a team that completely scraped in. I actually called their third to last game of the season at home against Montreal. They lost at home, and we were basically doing their funeral on the air. They were like, all right, season over. They're going to build again in the offseason. All of a sudden, they're a win away from knocking out the juggernauts, the best team in the MLS regular season history. And here they are with a huge opportunity. But ultimately, I think I'm sticking with my priors. My priors going into the series were that Inter Miami are decidedly better in terms of talent, not just in terms of Messi and Suarez and Jordi Alba and the ex-Barcelona stars, but just in terms of top to bottom roster building. Miami are a better team. I will say, though, over the course of the stretch run of the season and in that game too, reveal what their vulnerabilities are. They are not particularly strong defensively, and part of that starts from the front because Suarez and Messi are in their later 30s. They're not great defensive players.
Yeah.
And that leaves you vulnerable structurally to teams that can counter you. And Atlanta took advantage of that on a couple of occasions, got a couple of really good goals, and they beat Miami at home. But going back to Chase Stadium, which, by the way, if Miami stay in the playoffs, they will not have to leave again. They have home field advantage all the way through. If they just win their home games, they'll win the championship.
And that's the thing, too. Like, Messi and Suarez, they're in that, like, LeBron stage of their career. We're going to give you all the effort on offense. We're going to be really good there. And then if it's a little porous on the other side, it'll be fine. We'll make up for it with some more buckets. They're getting buckets. It's the old man game, Chris. I was just having a conversation with our guy, Mike Rizzo, who does Russo and Rizzo after us 4 to 6 here on ESPN 106.3. He was talking about how he feels like he can't get back on the basketball court anymore these days. I'm telling him, like, yo, you got to work on your old man game. It ain't that much cardio in the half court.
Yeah, you set some picks, you get some rebounds, and you operate in the post. Like, that's what you got to do, right? You got to, minimize the pain on the joints.
Yeah.
And I think that is kind of what this team has been built around. And I will say there are moments where they're defending late on where you kind of feel like, oh, man, I can use some fresh legs on there, but you're not going to take Messi off the pitch.
No.
And that ultimately is sometimes where they have found themselves over the course of the season. It's not been a perfect team. I think a big part of that, and by the way, let's also factor in one other huge part of the equation. I mentioned 3 of the big ex-Barcelona stars that obviously, won Champions Leagues and won La Liga titles, and they're brilliant players.
Yeah,
in
somebody's
the history
sick,
of the modern
right?
era.
Somebody's sick.
Yeah, Sergio Busquets is out, or it might be out for the game. I believe it was confirmed today at the press conference that he's going to be out today with pneumonia. He picked up pneumonia ahead of last week, and obviously that's not an easy one to recover from. So him and another midfielder that's a little bit lesser heralded, but might be just as important from a physicality standpoint, that being Yannick Bright. He could potentially miss the game. He was their first-round draft pick ahead of this season, has been surprisingly good. So I do think that they're missing a couple of key elements in that midfield that just kind of cooled the game down a little bit. One of the players, Busquets, certainly, that gets the ball to Messi in the positions that he likes it. So you're without that supply tomorrow night. So that is definitely a little bit of a doubt. But again, you're still replacing him with players that I think are better than the ones that Atlanta United have. So if they deliver even a 7 out of 10 performance on the day, they should be winning the game.
Good.
Chris, you've called Messi games with MLS, and you've called non-Messi games with the MLS on Apple TV. What's the difference for someone who's going to show up to one of these games?
I mean, the difference is just in that buzz, right, in that atmosphere. And it really becomes – and there are some places in MLS that are amazing to go to from an atmosphere standpoint. And I actually went to the game, not as a commentator, but as a fan when he came up to New York City. And it's kind of remarkable because I work out of CBS in Stamford, Connecticut, and I was grabbing the train in, and there are all these kids that are showing up with their Messi jerseys on, whether they be Miami or Barcelona, and there are all these parents that are taking them there. Like, the crowd often becomes like man, we're just here to see this guy do his thing. And in that game, he was actually pretty poor relative to his standard, but he had one moment, picked up the ball, slide in this perfect pass on the exact right pace to create an assist, and the whole stadium is just watching his every move. And there's just this buzz around watching him do anything, because ultimately a lot of people that go to see Inter Miami games, both in South Florida and also around the country, are there to see him for the first time. They've never actually seen him before. So they're there to see what this hype is all about. And that's just completely different than even a very good MLS crowd where there's an amazing atmosphere. I've been to Minnesota this year and Cincinnati this year and Philadelphia this year on their day. They're amazing places to be, and MLS has created this incredible fan atmosphere around all their stadiums.
Yeah,
but
I think that's what I was going to say. I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris, but that's what I meant. That's what I meant by, I mean, Messi's never played with this much pressure on him before. Like, come on.
No,
how much pressure is that? That's
listen,
a lot of pressure.
I appreciate that you think that that's pressure, but 90,000 in the Camp Nou on a Champions League semifinal day, or at Wembley when there's 95,000 people in a Champions League final, or in the World Cup final in 2022 in Qatar, or in the World Cup final in 2014 in Brazil. I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying. You're trying to introduce yourself to people, but his legacy is firmly cemented.
Yes.
I will say it will take a little bit of a dent here, and there, in the ongoing Messi versus Ronaldo debate, there will always be some people on social media that are there for any time Messi loses. And yeah, he is introducing himself to the country one stadium at a time. But look, man, this is still the GOAT. This is still the GOAT. And if they lose on Saturday, I think there'll be a lot of questions as to how that happened. But I don't think, in the grand scheme of things, it really affects Messi's all-time legacy that much.
I know it won't affect his legacy. I am curious to you, though, for somebody that is wise enough on all of general, like, American sports, and specifically knows the intricacies of how much this community cares about Messi and how much he means to the MLS. Like, can you give me a sports comp for how big of a disappointment it would be if Inter Miami doesn't finish this thing off and get the MLS Cup?
I mean, so from what standpoint? Like a sporting standpoint?
Like, maybe, like, give me like a football.
Standpoint?
The easiest way to comp things for people is like an NFL standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, is it as disappointing as, like, maybe Patrick Mahomes losing a home playoff game or something? Like, what's the comp?
I mean, like losing a home playoff game to, I don't know, this year's Cincinnati Bengals, this year's, like, just pick like a middle of the road AFC team.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Atlanta United represent. I think that's kind of what it represents. But also, I mean, it's sort of like if the Big Three Heat lost in the first round of the playoffs in their first ever series, right? It's like they get here for the first time, and it's a foregone conclusion that you beat, those crappy Philadelphia 76ers teams of back in the day, or the crappy Milwaukee teams or whatever. It's just a foregone conclusion. You just do it. And so, like, in some ways, this is the series. I know you're only playing 3 games, but this is the series going 7.
Yeah.
In that perspective, you're like, wait, why is this going 7? Why are we even getting to the brink here? The tougher challenges are still to come. The likelihood, and we'll see how the playoffs play out tomorrow, is that in the next round you'll face your in-state rivals Orlando City in the next round. So I think that's sort of that next step. But yeah, it's sort of the Big Three Heat. It's meant to come with all this hype, and LeBron James meant to take over the city and all. Wait, we lost in the first round to a team that lost more than they won this season. Which is Atlanta in a nutshell. And look, that is just the reality of the situation. They cannot lose this series and not come in for a significant amount of criticism. And who knows how many changes would come in the offseason from top down if you can't get it done in the first round of the playoffs.
That is certainly true. Looking forward to seeing what that looks like for y'all tomorrow. Again, Chris Whittingham will be on the call, and Inter Miami you can hear right here on ESPN 106.3. What time's the kick tomorrow, Chris?
Kickoff is a little after 8 p.m. tomorrow, so I think usually they're around like 8:05 or 8:10 Eastern time. So yeah, you can hear it locally on the radio, and obviously MLS Season Pass on Apple TV will have the broadcast for you.
Perfect. Chris, have a good rest of your football Friday, and good luck on the call tomorrow night.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's Chris Whittingham, play-by-play broadcaster for Apple TV, and he joins us here on Theoretically Speaking to let y'all know, Inter Miami is this is serious. This is an elimination game. It's game 3, which is technically like a game 7, and he's right. It's the first round. Now, though Inter Miami's never been to the second round of the MLS Cup playoff, they've got the best roster. I think they had the best regular season all time.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible to say that a loss tomorrow would mean a Big 3 first-round playoff loss.
Yeah.
Because it was looked at as a disaster, as a failure, when the Big 3 Heat didn't win the finals in their first year. Could you imagine the big three got bounced in the first round?
I like the Jeff Teague Hawks.
Yeah, right? That's how important tomorrow night is. That's how intense it's going to be in that building, and that's why you're probably going to see a lot of messy goals or a lot of chances at messy goals because it's foot down on the gas.
I am going to be on Prize Picks, and I am going to make sure I play some messy player projections. And yes, you can listen to the Inter Miami game tomorrow in Spanish on ESPN Deportes 760 here locally. ESPN Deportes 760 will have your call, 8 o'clock kick tomorrow night, Atlanta United versus Inter Miami. All right, C-Cat, because, that's a huge criticism that he made, yes, of the Big Three Heat if they would have lost in the first round. I'm interested in him kind of backing me on my Bengals take. If the Chiefs lose at home in the first round to like a Bengals team, he's writing them off as well. Chris Whittingham, he knows ball.
Wow, saying it's all in the same thing. Jeff Teague Hawks equals Cincinnati Bengals.
This year?
It's pretty damning.
This year, bro, I can't refute the facts. I'm just not one to back off of that. I do want to tell y'all, because, of course, I've given you where to go if you want to watch games with us and party in person. I do want to tell you, if you want to go and kick it somewhere this weekend and maybe you want to have some soccer on, right? Because Saturday night, you're going to have some college football as well, right? So you have a lot of different options. There's going to be some basketball games. Hockey. 80 or more televisions in every single location. Duffy's Sports Grill. Duffy'sMVP.com. That's where you need to go. Duffy'sMVP.com. They got 80 or more televisions, but they don't just have that. They have 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. This is one of the best things that have ever come to Florida. They're all across the board, especially Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast. You can find one near you, and you can join in, go online, Duffy'sMVP.com, and become an MVP. That means you're a awards member. You can track those awards. So when you get the jumbo wings, when you eat the award-winning burgers, you're also stacking up points. That's what MVPs do. You stack up points. Stack them up. Duffy'sMVP.com. At Duffy's, our game is always on. We do need to have the conversation, Steve-Cat, because you refuted it at first in the group chat this morning, and we have Don jumping on the Prize Picks YouTube right now, making a statement. He says, Lamar don't own Joe Burrow. The referees own Burrow. Them boys both played, and then we can't.
They played tough.
I should have read the whole comment before I started saying it out loud. But they both played very well. But I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways. Those same Bengals fans who called it Burrowhead Stadium because Cincinnati squeezed out a couple of wins against the Chiefs. They called it Burrowhead Stadium. The mayor made a proclamation saying Joe Burrow was Patrick Mahomes' father. So I'm sorry. Lamar Jackson does own Joe Burrow. He proved it again last night, and he'll continue to prove it as long as these rosters are constructed the way that they are. Joe Burrow's had a silver spoon in his mouth since his last year at LSU, and every single season with the Bengals since Jamar Chase has showed up. You got Chase, you got Higgins, you got Mixon, you got now you got Gesicki, a good pass-catching tight end. You got Burton now. You got the Andres Josevich guy. You're surrounded by that talent, so yes, you're putting up good numbers. Lamar Jackson's 6-1 against you. Because I guarantee you, the same fools who are saying Lamar's not Joe Burrow's father, Lamar's not the owner of Joe Burrow, the Ravens aren't better than the Bengals. If the roles were reversed and the Bengals were 6-1 and Joe Burrow was 6-1 against Lamar Jackson, what would be the statement today? That's why I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Stop your crying and your whining. Shut the hell up. Oh, we want a flag. Please, throw a flag and save us, please. Win the damn football game. Throw the ball on point to your tight end. Should be throwing it to a backup tight end with the game on the line anyways. Joe Burrow is owned by Lamar Jackson. Live with it. And you'll have to watch Lamar Jackson from the couch during the playoffs this year as you try to figure out how you can retool that roster with the cheapest organization in the NFL. That's just your luck. That's just it. We'll have that conversation, Lamar Jackson versus Joe Burrow on the other side, and other teams and players and rivalries that feel very one-sided, very one guy owns the other. And then also the happy hour, we're going to have our guy Todd Fleming in from the Cognizant Classic of the Palm Beaches. And we're going to do some Who Missed the Cut. It involves Lamar Jackson. That's going to be some fun. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hurricane fans, the final game of the season is here. Join us on November 23rd at Hard Rock Stadium as the Hurricanes take on the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. It's Senior Day, a day to honor the incredible players who have given their all to the U. Let's give them a send-off they'll never forget and fill the stadium with Hurricanes pride. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today by visiting MiamiHurricanes.com or by calling 1-800-GO-CANES.
Hi, it's Luis Fonsi. In the world of music, versatility allows you to capture the moment and create something amazing. Ford SUVs are designed with the same versatility in mind. The Ford Escape or Explorer can make any day a beach day with room for family and all your gear. And the Ford Bronco or Bronco Sport give you the freedom to go over, around, or through almost anything that comes your way. Ford SUVs, perfect for South Florida. See your local Ford dealer today.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Ready for some slam dunking family fun? Join us at the Amerant Bank Arena Saturday, December 14th for the 2024 AutoNation Orange Bowl Basketball Classic. The fun starts at 1 p.m. with live performances, photo ops, arts and crafts stations, and a chance to show off your basketball shooting skills. It's all free with your game ticket. Then catch the doubleheader basketball action as the UCF Knights take on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane and the Florida State Seminoles battle the Tulane Green Wave. Get your tickets now at orangebowl.org.
PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers and communities they serve by helping them move forward financially. As a Main Street bank, PNC is always working to make it easier for their customers to achieve their goals and plan for the future, whether that's through innovative digital solutions or in person. PNC is proud to be part of the South Florida community. See how PNC Bank can make a difference for you at pnc.com/tech. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Every Friday is a Friday day on ESPN 106.3, served by Bud's Chicken and Seafood. Bud's uses better quality ingredients for better food and the best value. Visit any of Bud's Chicken and Seafood's 6 locations or go online now at budschicken.com.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Hi, this is Kevin Dalton, owner of the Unlimited Auto Wash. You'll love our daily specials. With our loyalty card, you can save up to $5 off any wash on Mondays if you're a guy, Wednesdays for the ladies, and seniors 55 and older every Thursday. And Tuesday is Double Stamp Tuesday. With 6 locations, there's an Unlimited Auto Wash near you. Plus, we have unlimited monthly plans that offer inside and out washes with Tire Shine for just $44.95 a month. Visit unlimitautowashclub.com or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO for a location near you.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
I mean, Joe Burrow literally almost lost to his backup, like in a playoff game. Needed a Sam Hubbard fumble recovery touchdown, 98 yards or something like that, off a fumble snap from Tyler Huntley to secure the victory against Lamar's backup.
In a playoff game.
I can't
At
entertain
home.
it. I can't entertain it. I want just like y'all want Joe Burrow to be good, I want him to be good too. But just trust me when I say there's better. And trust me when I say that there's better teams than the Cincinnati Bengals. Doesn't get much better than the Kaiser University Seahawks. Doesn't get much better, specifically in the NAIA. CCAT, you still on the call tomorrow night?
Tomorrow, Kaiser, Florida Memorial.
Yes.
You got to be there or you're square.
You're literally square if you're not there, and CCAT will be in the booth to check out the reigning champions, the 2023 NAIA reigning champions, led now by Miles Russ. They look good. Their run game, just as good as it was in the past. That defense, stout. And they've had some milestone victories early in this season.
Milestone victories. They've also had dramatic games.
Right.
So you're not going for a snoozer. You're going to have a good one tomorrow night.
Kaiser University has 22 national champions, including that football title. They are the home of the champs when it comes to the NAIA. They have 60-plus conference titles. By the way, Kaiser's never lost in the Sun Conference in football. Still haven't.
Wait, ever?
Ever. Undefeated in the Sun Conference. Since they moved into the Sun Conference, they have not lost a conference bout. Not even just one, like what Lamar has with Joe Burrow when you call that a quote-unquote rivalry. KUSeahawks.com. KUSeahawks.com. Check out the Kaiser Seahawks, not just football, with all of their sports and athletics. That's my problem with all of this. If it was a closer call, I would entertain the debate. But everybody is propping Joe Burrow up today because of his numbers, because of his stats on this season, which I will say are gaudy. Like 2,672 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. It's really good numbers. Really good numbers. CCAT, like that, those are MVP type numbers from Joe Burrow, but they're 4-6. I can admit that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, am I tripping?
No, you're not. 24-4 touchdown interception ratio is definitely great. I mean, Lamar Jackson, I believe, had the 24 passing touchdowns last year in his MVP season.
Right. And you know what else? Lamar Jackson has 24 passing touchdowns this year. He has the wins to go with it, too, 7-3. He has 2 wins over Joe Burrow and the Bengals as well in tight contests where it came down to one possession. And when I have a one-possession football game and I have a quote-unquote elite quarterback, I expect them to make the right plays down the stretch and win it. Joe Burrow hasn't. Lamar Jackson has. Also, Lamar and Joe Burrow's passing stats mirror each other. But where the competition isn't even close is what Lamar's able to do, not just on the ground as a runner, but as a threat to the defense in the run game in general. There's a reason why the efficiency for Derrick Henry, though it wasn't there last night because, again, Todd Monken forgot to tote the rock to number 22, has been elite this year. There's a reason Derrick Henry leads the league in rushing yards and has 12 touchdowns, and it's because of the threat that Lamar Jackson poses to the defense, shifting the numbers in the Ravens' favor. 538 rushing yards so far, 2 touchdowns on the ground as well. And Jalen just popped up in the YouTube chat a very accurate question for you, CCAT, because as we're talking about the GOATs of the quarterback debate right now, there was once a GOAT of kicking. We crowned him. We said first ballot Hall of Famer, Justin Tucker. We were ranking him in the NFL 100. The dude was fearless, peerless, and unstoppable. And last night he tried to punt the game away. He's a kicker. He tried to punt the game away.
Listen, Justin Tucker is not in his prime. We can all admit that. I think the kicker. The announcers need to realize that he's not in his prime anymore and not tout him as Automat Tuck.
He's 34. He's a kicker. What do you mean he's not in his prime?
Well, his prime years are behind him.
He missed an extra point.
That's tough. It happened against the Saints back in Lamar's rookie season as well, which made them not able to go to overtime against that Drew Brees-led team. It happens from time to time. And you know what?
That is such a cop. Do you have where's your Justin Tucker jersey? Are you ever going to wear it again?
I am going to wear it again because that's the only Ravens jersey I own right now.
Get a Lamar Jackson jersey. You literally have a guy who was in the conversation to become maybe a top 5 quarterback all time. He's on that trajectory to become a top 5 quarterback all time, and you're rocking a Justin Tucker jersey.
Listen, I don't want to point any fingers, but I play in a fantasy football league where last year the last place team was supposed to buy the first place team, which was me, a football jersey. That was the punishment, and that person hasn't paid up. So that was my Lamar Jackson jersey.
So it's coming.
It was supposed to come, and it never did.
Well, it's this time.
And you know what? I'm a China buyer when it comes to football jerseys. I don't go full retail on the official NFL website. I don't care if it comes in with a little bit loose stitching, or maybe not exactly perfect.
It will.
That's where I go with overseas in my jersey buy. So maybe I should just invest the $45 myself and wait 2 to 3 weeks until I can get it in the mail.
Well, however you got to do it, get you a Lamar Jackson jersey, and the Bengals are never going to make it back to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow as their quarterback. They won't. There's too many quarterbacks in the AFC that are better than him, and he's going to be paid more than all of them. He's paid more than Mahomes. He's paid more than Lamar Jackson. The Bengals are never going to be able to rebuild a roster around Joe Burrow that are going to be able to compete with Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Herbert. I mean, he's going to enter that conversation soon. The Chargers are better than the Bengals today, and they're going to prove that this year. He's not going to be back to the Super Bowl. I hope he enjoyed his stay. On the other side, we're bringing in Todd Fleming, CEO of the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. He's going to pull up. We're going to play Who Missed the Cut. Later on, we're going to have NFL Network's Cam Wolf break down what we saw from Bengals-Ravens last night. He was on the scene of the crime as the Ravens finished the Bengals season. Congrats to you and your guy, C-Cat. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. The happy hour on the other side on Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. According to ESPN's own Myron Metcalf, Cooper Flagg, the rising freshman star on the Duke men's basketball team, is inking a deal with Gatorade. The 17-year-old is Duke's next college basketball star and the projected #1 pick in 2025. He is now inked in with Gatorade on an NIL contract. He left his hometown high school of Nokomis Regional High in Maine and attended Mount Verde Academy in Florida to finish his high school career. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
ESPN West Palm and Humana are proud to recognize military veterans within our local community. Our Veteran of the Month is Richard Codd. Richard served 4 years in the United States Air Force while stationed in Montana, with 2 overseas deployments in Kuwait. Throughout his service, he exhibited remarkable dedication and skill. Richard is committed to honoring our nation's heroes every day in his personal and professional life while he lives in Port St. Lucie. He's an avid soccer fan and devoted supporter of Real Madrid, one of the best teams in the world, with the likes of Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. His favorite athlete is none other than Real Madrid legend Cristiano Ronaldo. Join us in extending our heartfelt gratitude to Richard for his unwavering service, sacrifice, and continued dedication to his fellow veterans. Richard Codd is the Veteran of the Month, presented by ESPN West Palm and Humana.
West Palm Beach. Do you want to rep your Miami Heat on the road? Head to your local DMV office or log on to heat.com/viceplate for a list of locations to purchase the best licensed plate in the state. This Vice Plate will be sure to turn heads with the Heat signature logo draped in Vice City pink and blue. A portion of the fee benefits associated charities and the Florida Sports Foundation. So log on to heat.com/viceplate to get yours today.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
They can help you if you're in an accident, but your fantasy football team, not so much.
Festive fun is back on select nights. At Palm Beach Zoo, there's family fun. It's the best date night. Oh, Zoo Lights cheer, Zoo Lights cheer, here at Palm Beach Zoo. Oh, what fun it is to save wildlife at the zoo. Hey!
Zoo Lights, presented by Florida Power and Light Company and Discover the Palm Beaches, Florida. Get your tickets today at pbzoo.org/zoolights.
Good people, it's me, Theo Dorsey, and I want to make sure you're locked in with us at Theoretically Speaking. Just hop on YouTube, search at Theo Speaking, and hit that subscribe button. You can watch us live or you can play us back at Theo Speaking on YouTube. It's free.
Welcome to Hurricane Grill and Wings. Today's forecast, hot, crispy wings with a 100% chance of frothy beers. Escape the ordinary. Visit hurricanewings.com to find your nearest spot and enjoy a taste of summer all year round.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. Y'all in for a show right now, man. I just got to cut right to it. Y'all are in for a show for the happy hour here on Theoretically Speaking. C-Cat right back on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. The reluctant Ravens fan who Jalen in the YouTube chat says C-Cat gonna break out in hives. He put on a Lamar Jackson jersey. You wouldn't break out in hives. Maybe you just wear an undershirt.
Listen. Okay, I said he's the third best quarterback. Or I said he's the fourth best quarterback in the NFL before the season, and Lamar Jackson's proved me wrong.
Okay. So
it takes a big man to admit that.
Yeah. He's turning around on the quarterback for his team.
No.
And then joining us in the happy hour here, as he always does on Football Fridays, Todd Fleming, CEO of the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches, hailing from Ohio, and also celebrating an anniversary weekend. Congratulations to you, my brother.
Thank you. I'm in good spirits. I'm a little underprepared for our topics today because of the anniversary, but I'm going to wing it today.
That's perfectly fine because today's topic anyways, no matter how much you prepare, I'm not prepared emotionally and analytically to cut one of these four quarterbacks.
Ooh,
it's the best one yet.
I agree.
It is.
I agree. This is good. This is really, really tough. I was on the drive over here. I kept looking at those four names, and I'm like, I don't know how we're going to answer this one today. I have no idea.
It's rough. And for people that don't know how Who Missed the Cut works, where have you been? Living under a rock? What are you doing? What are you doing here? Theoretically speaking, we pick four players, and we cut one. Three of them make it into the weekend. One goes by the wayside, similar to what you see in golf. You can have the most elite lineup in your golf tournament. I don't care if it's the Masters. I don't care if it's the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. Somebody got to miss the cut.
Got to.
Everybody can't make it into the weekend, and this one's going to be difficult. We're talking mobile quarterbacks. Yes, Lamar Jackson will be involved in that. Todd, before we get into Who Missed the Cut, C-Cat and I were involved in a conversation, I would say about an hour before our show, where we were supposed to be prepping for this thing, but instead we spent the next 45 minutes wasting time debating out. It overtook our afternoon, C-Cat.
I honestly forget what we did. What did we do?
Athleticism. So our great intern M. Joe brought up the question randomly. I forgot what sparked it. She said, "Who do you think is the most athletic person in this office?"
Okay.
Now, clearly, Todd.
Was everybody in the office at the time?
Not everybody. This was this started off small, and then we started spreading around the office, doing polling and whatnot. Clearly. I mean, I'm 31 years old, so I'm exiting my athletic prime, yes.
No.
Yeah, not yet? How long is it going to last? How long is it going to last? Until 40?
I don't know. You take good care of yourself. Yeah. You got probably into your early to mid 40s.
There we go. I'll hold on to it. I hope so. Look, I see what LeBron's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I see what
exactly. Now, if you spend a couple million on your body next year, then you may be able to prolong it.
I can extend that even further. Yeah. So naturally, immediately, I'm thinking me. I didn't want to say it. C-Cat, you were there. MJ, I didn't say me, but I'm thinking me. But I'm like, let's just entertain the damn thing.
Well, all right. So where did we end up? Is it you?
So we would have to assume it's me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think if we did and what ends up coming out of that, Todd, is the debate on what is athleticism in the first place. Are we judging, hey, this person can exceed at the most amount of sports, right? If we do an Olympic style thing, right?
Yeah.
Where we compete in 20, 30 different athletic events, who does the best? Or is it we're doing a combine, we're testing your true athleticism, some hand-eye stuff, some 40, some box jumps, some verticals, all of that. Who grades the best? Ooh. And dare I say, Todd, I ain't gonna lie, I think I win both.
Yeah, C-Cat, where are you at? Where do you stand on this?
That's what it is.
I stepped foot in a gym last, I guess, the junior year before my senior year of football. So, yeah, I don't really go to the gym. It was football weightlifting.
So you're co-signing that Theo is the most athletic in the office.
That.
He did. Now, he proposed somebody else as the most athletic. He said because of youth, I understand where you're coming from, but he said we have a guy named Cade Chumsland. You probably met him.
Yeah.
6'6", right?
6'7".
6'7". Played college golf right here at Palm Beach Atlantic.
He has a YouTube series going right now called Play on Play. Go on YouTube, ESPN West Palm Play, where he competes against the best youth athletes in the area right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast.
Yeah.
So he's active. He played college sports.
So he's competing against them in whatever
Whatever
platform that they want.
and it's a competition every time. It's never a blowout.
Yeah, he did like a 3-point shootout with a kid that's good at basketball. He did a passing drill with a flag football quarterback. And he did baseball. I think he got crushed in the baseball thing.
I was going to say, what's his record?
Baseball's hard.
What's his record in this?
Right now he's 2-2.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's doing good at this. I will say, I mean, you put me up against a high school athlete, I think I could win a lot of competitions too.
I don't disagree with that.
Just saying,
So back to the original question, like, what is athleticism?
How do you judge it? If I were to ask you right now, like, what is athleticism? How do you grade out? Like, clearly, like Lamar Jackson's probably the most athletic quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
But how do you judge athleticism for just a couple of folk walking around an office?
Well, I think it's you got to take those that can't walk and talk and chew gum at the same time and move them to the side.
So we start with coordination.
So that may be 50% of the marketplace, right? So 50% is kind of out. Then I think from there, I think this goes into similar to what the employee here is, the friend is doing. It's like, do you have athleticism and can you pick up the skill set inside of whatever activity, whatever competition that you're in?
Yeah.
Can you adapt very quickly to that and compete? Don't always have to win.
Yeah.
You can compete.
I think I got it. Because the only real, valuable, practical use of pure athleticism in the year 2024 is being a pro athlete. You can make a very successful life out of yourselves if you are not an athlete whatsoever because of advanced civilization. But you go back in time to ancient Greece, why the Olympics started. If you got to hunt down your food every night, you got to be a good athlete, right? You got to chase down these wild animals. So back in time, judging an athlete would be the decathlon, right? How fast you run, how much you can bench press and all of that. But in today's day and age,
We didn't have the bench press in the decathlon.
in today's day and age, how many sports are you good at? I think should judge your athleticism because that's what practical use of being an athlete is nowadays, playing sports, team sports.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we were going to get a history lesson.
Yeah, we
either,
did.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I'm glad that he tied it into the Olympics, right? Like
Yeah.
the start of the Olympics and where the marathon started. So, job well done there. But I do think it is the multitude of events that you would put in front of somebody to then determine who's more athletic. Can they compete and have a nice outcome in each of those domains?
Now
if you do, you're good.
You've worked for professional football teams.
Yes.
So I just want to pitch this question to you, too, because this came out of this debate. Of course, everybody always gets a little bit, big in their britches.
Yep.
You start talking about, dudes talking about how athletic they are, how they can compete. Tom Brady's 40 time came up. Tom Brady ran a 5.17 40 right at the NFL Combine back in 2000 coming out of Michigan. Obviously, it didn't matter. He becomes the greatest quarterback of all time. There are people in this office, Todd, who believe if you give them 2 weeks to train, they can run a 5.1 40. Now, I'm not saying 5.1 is fast.
No.
I'm just saying that these people are not athletes. And I'm not, look, I just want people to, so when you hear that, because realistically, do you think that if I gave you a month to train, you would be able to run a 5.1 40?
Absolutely not.
It's really hard. It's faster than you think.
Well, again, and if you're not active that way, and then 2 weeks isn't going to do anything for you except make your body sore, which means that you're going to be tensed up when you run. So whoever's saying that is going to pull their hammy by yardage number 20.
Yeah, because he's going to be going for it, and that's going to be the problem.
You're going to be going for it. They're going to be done. You're going to pull your hammy. You're going to roll your ankles. Something's going to happen, and they're going to fall down. They're never going to make their 40 time.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody is. I guarantee you too. None of our fans either are running a sub 540. If you do believe you can run a sub 540 today, you call in and let us know right now. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776 or comment in the chat if you think today you can sign up, raise your hand, run a sub 5 second 40.
Not just call in. Pull up and prove it.
Show me a video.
Look, we got a nice street here that I'm pretty sure we can yardage off 40 yards real quick.
Dudes be thinking it sounds easy when you ain't got the cleats on and you ain't on the field, right? You're watching other people doing it. Tom Brady looked really slow doing his.
Can you perform?
You got to be able to perform with the lights are bright.
So, but can I suggest something here?
Yeah.
Played college basketball. Obviously been in sports for quite some time around some real athletes, right? Can we have a discussion about hockey players not getting the credit that they're due for being as athletic?
They don't ever get enough credit.
No,
because they can skate too.
They're figure skaters.
Yeah.
They're boxers. They're wrestlers. It's
lower body.
It's art on ice, and it's at the drop of a dime. They're pivoting and going. I think and if we're going to have a discussion around athleticism, hockey players have got to be high on the list.
For me, the only problem is they're so skilled and good and athletic and built to do a certain thing that I don't really fully understand how difficult it is because I don't try it, right? Like, so it looks really cool. Like, when you watch Lamar Jackson do what he does, you're like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't run around like that, dart away from grown men that are, running 4.8 40s and are 300 pounds and throw a ball pinpoint for a touchdown. I know I can't do that.
Right.
I watched LeBron James jump 10 feet over the rim. I'm like, yeah, I would never be able to accomplish that feat. I understand how hard it is to jump really high.
So you're saying you don't know. The possibility exists that Theo Dorsey can score a power play goal.
That's not what I'm saying, but because the actual art of hockey is so specific and unique, it's kind of like how when people watch golf before they actually go golf, they think golf is so easy.
Right.
Because it's nothing that you're doing in your daily life. You're not ice skating and knocking a puck around in your daily life at all or anything close to it, so it doesn't look as mesmerizing.
Wow, that's why I'll go the opposite of that. It is so hard that we don't even try it.
There you go.
We don't even try it.
Walking on the way, you can pick up a basketball and shoot around for 30 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
You're not going to, on your way home, I don't know, skate around a little bit.
No.
Just hit a little skate.
Well, there is an ice skating rink over here now at the Bend, right? So we can go try it. We can go try it if we want to.
I didn't know that.
So
yeah.
I think the half measure to that is like competitive swimming. We're watching on TV. Like a lot of people can swim, tread water, kind of do laps and whatnot.
Yeah.
But until you see it in person, you can't see how fast that actually is.
I tell everybody, I was like, yes, I can swim. I don't know how to swim. Right? Like, there's absolutely no way I could do.
There's no technique to my game.
One lap, I'm done. Yeah. I'm winded. It's over.
But I'm going to get from point A to point B.
Right.
Me too. If you throw me in that pool, I'll get over there.
I'll get over there. It may take me some time, and I'm going to be winded when I get there. I may not make it back, but I'm not doing it for 4 minutes straight.
Right. And it ain't no breaststroke. You ain't going to be able to define what I'm doing, but I'm moving in the water. That brought up something, too. Before we get into who missed the cut, we're about to do it. Lamar Jackson's involved. Josh Allen's involved. Yeah. It gets interesting. Mobile quarterbacks. Who missed the cut? You brought up the question yesterday, and I guess it came about at your anniversary dinner, Todd. Do you consider athleticism when picking your significant other?
Oh, absolutely.
How much does athleticism play into you?
No.
Yes, and into dating. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Todd says yes, and I don't think that's a bad answer.
No.
It plays into it. It
plays
does.
A major factor for a couple reasons. One, if you're athletic and enjoy activities,
yes,
and they do, commonality,
shared hobbies,
shared mindset, can do things together, which again, the married men in the room, that's important.
Yeah, we get it.
The other side of it is too, athletic figures don't look too bad.
Don't look bad at all.
Don't look too bad.
I like a good looking athletic figure, and on top of that too, hey, one of the biggest parts of this partnership, this marriage we're getting into, is we both want to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah. If
you're an athlete, I know that you know how to take care of yourself. You over here, maybe we could compete a little bit. Maybe when I'm coaching up the kids, maybe you could sub in and give them a couple details and pointers. Like, athleticism matters.
Athleticism matters. Yeah. And in a relationship or in dating, the quickest way to find that out, can you dance? Dancing.
A little bit of dancing, having a little bit of rhythm and coordination.
Yeah,
because
shows a lot.
Athleticism is many different ways, hand-eye coordination and whatnot. CCAT, why are you belting out laughter when you think that athleticism should not be factored in?
So now that you put it that way, factored in, I'm actually on your same side. Because factored in, you got to be on the same page.
Yeah.
I'm a couch potato. So if I was being woken up on
like
Thanksgiving
Tina,
morning, hey, turkey trot, everybody, come on out. Like, no, I'm not going to get up and run your stupid 5K. Sorry. I've got better things to do. This is not the relationship I want. Sorry, things are over. Your things are in a bag. Please move out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you got to be on the same page. I agree with that.
Okay.
Because that's where it starts from.
Yeah, well, why did you laugh at first? You just thought it was like a superficial thing or something?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought that me, the couch potatoes out there, and all the women out there who don't choose to go to the gym every day, I thought you were looking down on them. And I didn't stand for it. Yeah. As a matter of fact,
we have to be aligned.
He was shaming us. He was assuming.
He did.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we talked that through.
It's a good discussion.
Yeah.
It's a good discussion. Just like, where's it at?
I got it.
Oh my goodness. This is not good.
It's beyond hard to watch.
4 will enter. 3 will survive. It's time for Who Missed the Cut? Presented by the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches, February 27th through March 2nd.
And it's at PGA National in Palm Beach Gardens. New VIP experiences. I mean, come on. South Florida's only PGA Tour event. Right at the back end of February. CognizantClassic.com. That's where you can go to make sure you're locked in on getting tickets. There's a new date right around the corner, November 14th. We're going to get into that with Todd Fleming here, who's with us from the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. But if you want to have more info on the Cognizant Classic, CognizantClassic.com. CognizantClassic.com. We got new VIP experiences, a lot of great new hospitality suites you're going to want to lock in. All right, Todd, we'll talk about the Cognizant Classic and the newest updates, but we got to start off with, based off what we saw last night from Lamar Jackson, who looks like he's en route for his third MVP. CCAT and I started debating, mobile quarterbacks. He might be the best we've ever seen as a mobile quarterback, and that's the topic of our Who Missed the Cut today. 4 enter, only 3 will survive the weekend. Who missed the cut? The 4 quarterbacks we have: Cam Newton, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Woo. Let the games begin.
I think it's my week, right? To go first.
Yeah, you got the first. Right, you get to save the first person.
So I think there's a couple on this list that that will probably easily make the cut. But I think we got to start off with the fact Michael Vick.
Oof.
Michael Vick revolutionized that position. If you go back, Steve Young was probably the earlier edition of this.
Randall Cunningham.
Randall,
Frank Targets, and all of those.
But you got to Michael Vick, and it gave you a little bit of that feeling of I've never seen this before, and I don't know what's about to happen, and that gets me excited. So my first into the ring of making the cut, Michael Vick.
Plus, you talk about aura. You talk about being the moment. Mike Vick was so many people's favorite player. He did it with the Falcons, which he's probably the most legendary Falcon of all time. I'd have to ask a Falcon fan who they herald as that. I mean, Matt Ryan brought you to a Super Bowl. Julio Jones is in allure, but Mike Vick was
the guy.
An icon. He's like the Allen Iverson almost of the NFL.
He almost got. I mean, maybe he did, but to me, it felt like he almost got the Deion stature in Atlanta.
Right there. He's right there.
Right there with him.
Too, though.
That's
right. So it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
I do think the Mike Vick save is a smart one. It's a good one. Also, we can never forget Madden 07.
Yes.
Mike Vick was the Bo Jackson of this era. Bo Jackson was Tecmo Bowl. Mike Vick was the most dominant player in Madden ever.
Yeah.
I think doing something we've never seen before matters. And yes, we have now seen it before. We're seeing it right now as we speak with Lamar Jackson week in, week out. But back when Mike Vick was in his prime, we didn't see that before.
No.
I think it's worth something. I'm okay with the first to do it being saved.
Okay, so we're left with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Cam Newton. These are the 3 mobile quarterbacks who are looking to make it to the weekend. Vic he's done it. He's made it. Good. Okay, who gets the next save? Should we just open up the debate to the current quarterbacks right now? Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, I feel like the choice is clear now. Before the season, even as a Ravens fan, CCAT, you were on the side of Josh Allen. How have you changed since?
I have changed tremendously. And yes, Lamar Jackson got more help over the offseason, and we're seeing the fruits of the Ravens organization labor, and the same thing in opposite for Josh Allen. He got less tools in his tool belt right now. But Lamar Jackson, before last season, didn't make it to the AFC Championship game. He made it there. Josh Allen hasn't. I think that matters.
Yep.
We talk about the athleticism, different styles of mobile quarterbacks. Josh Allen runs through you. Lamar Jackson runs around you before you knew what was happening. Lamar Jackson should be saved. He's on a top 5 trajectory right now in the NFL.
2 MVPs, too.
It's going to be the third. I mean, it'll have to be a minor miracle for him to not. I mean, Mahomes will have to go 17-0.
Right. That's where it will get interesting.
That's the only thing that I think that's going to stop. I mean, we haven't seen the bye week yet from Baltimore, so we'll see what happens after the bye week. But there's all indications that exactly what CCAT said. What they've put around him has made him better and allowed him to be more explosive.
More efficient, too.
More efficient, more explosive, and we're seeing, something pretty spectacular. So I tend to agree. I think Lamar's got to be saved.
I had a feeling we would come down to this. Lamar Jackson saved, Mike Vick saved. I had a feeling it would come down to these 2 quarterbacks. They're often compared. Very, very similar play style with the recklessness, with the volatility. Josh Allen gets credit for being more of a passer, but it's Josh Allen, Cam Newton now, a guy that has an MVP and a Super Bowl appearance, but had a sharp decline. And we've watched it. That's what's going to hurt Cam Newton in this debate. He had a sharp – we've watched the end of his career happen, and it's over with. We don't know what's next for Josh Allen, but we assume he continues on the upward trajectory. How do we want to judge this then? I mean, I know there's no rules to who missed the cut. Are we projecting out for Josh Allen, or are we doing what we have with what he's done?
I think with what he's done, and even with what he's done, maybe taking away a possible Super Bowl berth, AFC Championship berth, taking away all those possible things in the future, Josh Allen has had a multitude of better seasons than Cam Newton has had. Cam Newton's probably had one season that was better than anything Josh Allen's ever done. But everything after that, advantage Josh Allen, no?
Again, I agree. This may be the first week where we're all kind of agreeing on everything.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard for me to separate the decline and the ending of Cam as we evaluate this. Now, when it was good, but it ended very, very quickly, and it didn't end what I would say where he was on somebody's roster and you feared him. Right now, you fear Josh Allen, even though he doesn't have a lot of the weapons around him, because he's multifaceted, because he's that big, and because he's not scared to do it. I think where I'm getting myself to as I walked in here and thought about it. I think he's the favorite out of the remaining two.
Yeah, well, Theo was a Panthers fan during the Cam Newton era, the peaks and the valleys of it. How do you remember Cam Newton when you look back?
Superman. Like, Cam was Superman. He was the hope. He was the dream. He literally was that Panthers team. You talk about how Josh Allen has no talent around him or weapons. People, go back and look at that 2015 roster for the Panthers. Kelvin Benjamin was out. It was just Greg. Receiver? It was Ted Ginn Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, Ohio State guy. I know you got love for Ohio, but like, it was Cam Newton and a cast and crew of characters who were like, they would be lucky if they got a Pro Bowl in their future. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cam carried that team, one lost regular season.
Was Olsen on that team?
Greg Olsen was on that team. That was his security blanket.
Who was the other
I
wide
think he missed a
receiver?
couple games.
Number 89.
Steve
Not
Smith.
Steve Smith. Steve Smith was before that. Steve Smith, that was one of the curses of the Panthers is you have Steve Smith, and on his way out, when his career was ending, in comes Cam Newton. Imagine if their primes lined up.
I thought they may have went across each other. But yeah, that's why I said, again, I mean, I lived in Charlotte for a while too, right? I mean, prior to him, but it's 35. A marketplace that gets behind somebody, but he was special. But I just don't think, like, to see Cat's point, the quantity of years where it was special, I think, is the differentiator.
Yeah.
I mean, you take Josh Allen's first year and a half in the league out.
His first two seasons were kind of hit and miss, but then he became an elite quarterback.
He's there.
Quickly.
He's there.
Now, here's the one caveat with Josh Allen, right? Like, he's been very good in these regular seasons, put up some elite numbers, no MVPs, no Super Bowl appearances, no AFC title appearances. I'm just saying, yes, he's done better. Like, is it better to be elite in a short period of time or very, very good right up against it for a longer period of time? That's really the debate we're having right now, because the peak of Newton was better than anything Josh Allen's done.
And you can point to the reason why Josh Allen has not reached the peak that Cam Newton did.
Yes.
It's one name, and we're all familiar with it. Cam Newton never had to intersect with Patrick Mahomes.
And
AFC, NFC.
And those two quarterbacks gave us one of the most spectacular fourth quarters that we've ever seen in that playoff game. Epic back and forth. So I'm on the side of Josh Allen, because I think the trajectory of future years and being this consistent and potentially having a breakthrough, I'm in the hat for.
I'm with Josh Allen.
Cam threw for 4,000 yards in his rookie season. Before C.J. Stroud came along, he had one of the most prolific rookie seasons for a quarterback of all time.
But shouldn't he have gotten better? Isn't that what happens?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have your best on your first impression when everyone has a lack of film on you.
Well, his best was the MVP year, like 5 years later. I'm just saying, riddled by injuries on the back end. I will agree with you.
Hold on. The name of the show is what?
It's theoretically speaking. It is. But we kind of come to a consensus
I know,
here.
but you're voting.
No, we don't.
You can drop that birdie putt in to make the cut. You have that authority in here.
I mean, the production. He started a movement. He had everybody dabbing.
Yeah,
What's Josh Allen got us doing?
Fair enough.
But here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. In fairness, because I am biased, I do believe it would be Cam Newton. But since there's 2 votes for Josh Allen, I believe in the democracy of, theoretically speaking. I hate to do this. My heart hurts right now, but Cam Newton.
It's not bad to be 4th.
You missed the cut, dog.
Oh, my goodness. This is not good.
It's beyond hard to watch.
Okay, how about this? If Cam Newton succeeds Stephen A. Smith and becomes the next great first take ESPN personality, can he then pass up Josh Allen's
Completely
legacy?
change my mindset. Yes.
Because, dude, I will say for Cam, oh, my God.
He's having a moment, isn't he?
He is good.
I saw him earlier today for a short snippet. He's pretty good.
He's doing Fridays now with First Take. Cam Newton is an elite ball knower and ball talker. I'm loving the second end of his career, or I guess it's his post-career where he's doing the sports talking thing. I hope he continues to get platformed more and more. I enjoy watching him talk about football. I enjoy watching you talk about the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. Todd, what's new with the PGA Tour event that annually drops on the doorstep of Palm Beach County?
Well, I want everybody to know we're 108 days away as we sit here today to tournament week.
Yes.
Right? So it's not out in the future. It's here now. So for those that are thinking about what to do, now's the time to act, right? So yesterday we released our pre-sale for Bear Trap, for General Mission Grounds tickets, as well as CIBC Champions Club, which is a really nice hospitality product on hole 17. Sales were exceeded my expectations. I'll just say that. And so what we're going to do, you have the opportunity to still do that. If you bought in 2024 or are part of our database, you have the ability to be in that pre-sale, and that'll last through the 12th. We'll go dormant for a couple days. Then on the 14th, we're going to reissue it far and wide. It's public on sale.
Nice.
Everything will be available for our buying community to get involved.
Yeah.
Today, though, I want to talk a little bit about, we were having this discussion about athleticism and competing and thinking that we can do what the pros do. Well, the good thing is about the tournament, you have the ability to do that.
Oh, man, don't do it, Todd.
Yeah. We have 2 pro-ams, right? So
man.
We have a Monday pro-am, which it's 4 amateurs, plays with 1 pro, all 18 holes. I've done it. Very fun. Pros are very interactive. Okay. They'll pick up your equipment, let you use theirs. They'll talk a little smack to you. It's a lot of fun. Wednesday, we ramp it up even more because now grounds passes are allowed on site for Wednesday. But Wednesday is 3 amateurs, 2 professionals. You play 9 holes with one, 9 holes with a different one. So you get a different perspective, different types of games, different types of conversations. But you take a nice 4-hour walk with 2 professionals. So if you want to compete, we have the ability to allow you to compete.
See, Cat?
Wow.
Like, okay,
so when the grounds passes, that changes everything. When you got people standing behind the tee box and you shank one in the water,
and the media's there. I mean, Wednesday's a different animal. So again, back to our point: if you think you can perform, it's now time to step up and see if you can perform on Wednesday.
So let's talk about Monday.
Yep.
If CCAT and I, let's just say theoretically, CCAT and I wanted to get involved with with that pro-am, how would we even, how does that process work?
Yep. So you can go to thecognizantclassic.com. You can drop in your information there, or you can just simply figure out my information and let's go have a conversation. So it's Todd Fleming at PGATourHQ.com.
Yeah.
You can contact me directly and we'll figure out how we get you involved.
Perfect. All right, we'll be considering that. We need to get out there on the course a few more times. I'm not embarrassing myself.
He's scared,
I am
man.
scared. Yeah, I'm scared.
Well, I played. I'll say who I played with, but he grabbed my equipment and he said, "You need to upgrade this."
Oh, he's gonna say more than that if he does to mine.
I was about to say,
you got my Facebook clubs.
I was good set of irons. I'm a little. I get too tied into my equipment, so I had a driver from 20 years ago. I knew how to swing it pretty well, but it was a little outdated. And my putter at the time was the putter that I had since I was 12, right? So I don't even think they make it anymore.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
But since then, I've upgraded.
Over here.
Since then, I've upgraded.
Okay. That's the best way to justify it to your wife.
Bullying works.
She's the one that told me you better change your gear.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, yes, ma'am.
And that's one of those instances where I discourage bullying. Sometimes some friendly bullying between friends is keeping each other in check. Sometimes bullying works.
Yeah.
Enjoy your anniversary weekend with the wife.
Thank you.
Thanks for pulling up on this Football Friday. Again, that's Todd Fleming, CEO of the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. And, yeah, don't blame us because if we held you a little long because I know y'all got stuff to do.
I'm running out of here. I think she's walking around somewhere downtown here, so I'm going to go track her down before my credit card gets used too much.
I was about to say, yeah,
let's get on the road.
Yeah,
so.
check the statements.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend,
you
everybody.
pulling up. Thank you. And before we go to break, I do want to tell y'all, the Cognizant Classic's coming up. That's an annual tradition in Palm Beach County. You're going to want to be there in February. And in December, you're also going to want to be in Boca Raton. I know Todd will be there with us. It is the Boca Raton Bowl, Wednesday, December 18th at FAU Stadium. It'll be broadcast live on ESPN. I can't tell you who's going to be in the game yet. We find out later. But just stay tuned in with the Group of Five. We're going to have two of the best Group of Five teams battling it out on Howard Schnellenberger Field at FAU Stadium, December 18th. December 18th is the 2024 Boca Raton Bowl game. Some of the names that have played in the past, Zach Wilson, Bailey Zappi, Devin Motor Singletary. There's been some stars on that field. Who will be next? Find out Wednesday, December 18th at FAU Stadium. Find out more at BocaRatonBowl.com. More of the happy hour on the other side with Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3. Time now for a PNC Pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at PNC.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3.
This Thanksgiving, don't let extra pounds steal your joy. At HexisMD.com, enjoy the feast without fear of calories sticking around. They offer semaglutide and trizepatide. No insurance needed. Picture yourself feeling lighter and more energized. Give yourself the gift of confidence and health this holiday season. Join thousands already transforming their lives. Visit HexisMD.com today. That's HEXISMD.com. Your partner in a healthier, happier you.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
FX's English teacher.
Every single one of these essays is so bad.
An F? What is this?
With grades like this, I'm gonna have to hit the corner, sir.
From executive producers of What We Do in the Shadows.
Who's running the school? Is it us or is it them?
Them.
Go sit next to Tiffany.
She told me it was offensive to learn Mandarin because you're not Japanese.
FX's English teacher is now streaming on Hulu. All new Mondays on FX.
What keeps us going during storm season? It's not the what, it's the who. It's the helpful neighbors, the extra milers, and the early risers. And when a storm hits, Florida needs a power company that's ready. At FPL, we're working every single day to build a stronger grid so you get the reliable electricity you need in good weather and bad. FPL, working for you every single day. Get ready at fpl.com/storm.
Every Friday is a Friday day on ESPN 106.3, served by Bud's Chicken and Seafood. Bud's uses better quality ingredients for better food and the best value. Visit any of Bud's Chicken and Seafood's 6 locations or go online now at budschicken.com.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
They can help you if you're in an accident, but your fantasy football team, not so much.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Your home for the Miami Dolphins in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast is ESPN 106.3.
It's time to put your fins up.
Don't miss a second of the action as Tyreek and company look to conquer the toughest division in football.
You're listening to ESPN West Palm's coverage of the Miami Dolphins.
Home or away, Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. Regular season or postseason, the Miami Dolphins play right here on ESPN 106.3.
Presented by South Florida Ford, the Breakers Palm Beach, and PNC Bank.
Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Hi, this is Blaine Isbell, Corporate Vice President of Team IP. For over 30 years, Team IP has been a national leader in decorated apparel and promotional products. National corporate brands and 22 college bowl games, including the Boca Raton Bowl, make Team IP their partner of choice. Team IP, located right in our community in Stewart, is a proud partner of ESPN West Palm. Contact me anytime at 877-821-8643 or head to teamip.com and take the first step in making Team IP your team to boost your brand.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com.
Time now for the coolest moment of the week. Presented by EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing. EDS is yes.
How long does it take to scramble for 10 yards and a pivotal first down in a key primetime Thursday night football game? I don't know. I mean, I would ask a few people, but there's one person specifically that knows it very well, and that would be Lamar Jackson, who made it shake. Here it is, your EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing coolest moment of the week.
Jackson backing up, backing away, under pressure, and down the sideline he goes. Lamar Jackson, can he stay in bounds all the way? He stopped in.
That run right there, and again, that call courtesy of Amazon Prime Video, Al Michaels, one of his few good moments of the night. That call was of Lamar Jackson's run, which took 10.1 seconds before he even crossed the line of scrimmage. ESPN's Next Generation Stats gave him a 4% probability of getting the first down, which he did. That's the EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing coolest moment of the week. EDSIsYes.com. You know where to find them. They are the trusted AC experts in Palm Beach County. A 4.8-star Google rating with over 760 reviews. Been keeping you cool since 2006. Now, look, I'm the type of person, I love when people are on call and ready for me. EDSIsYes.com, 24/7 support, timely service. Book them online right now. Plumbing needs, air conditioning needs, it's about that time. EDSIsYes.com. Literally, I just got a text from them yesterday. They said, Theo, it's time to get your second checkup of the year. I get 2 every year because I'm a Gold Plan member. You can be as well. EDSIsYes.com. And again, that second checkup not going to cost me anything. Preventative care or repair. EDSIsYes.com. All right, coming in because he was boots on the ground for Ravens-Bengals last night in Thursday Night Football. It is Cameron Wolf, NFL Network reporter, friend of the show. And C-Cat, do we have the howl? Do we have the howl? We're howling with the wolf. Welcome back. Glad you made it in one piece. How you feeling on this Football Friday, dog?
The howl was on point.
Yes, sir.
Was on point. I'm good, man. I just arrived back here in South Florida. I've had the lucky fortune of being at a lot of fun Thursday night games this year, but this one was different, man. So seeing Burrow and Lamar go off and how it ended, man, it was a blast. And I take that. Every football game was like that.
Man, like it was incredible. What was it like being in there for that second half as the Ravens started marching back? Because there was like a little bit of an air of, man, are the Bengals going to do this? Did they just reclaim their season? Are they going to actually blow the Ravens out in prime time? And then Lamar did some Lamar things. Like, how was it in the stadium there?
Yeah, so I was on the field, started the fourth quarter for the rest of the game, and it had a weird feel. It almost felt like, and I know, Theo, this may feel blasphemous for you, but it almost felt like when Patrick Mahomes starts to get the ball, when he's coming from behind. And almost felt inevitable of like when Baltimore started to put together the touchdowns, it was a when, not if, they would come back and take the lead over the Bengals. And, I hear it in your voice. You're already feeling the blasted.
Did you just bring up the boogeyman? How dare you say the name of the boogeyman?
I did. But the reason I say it, and Lamar still got to get over his own boogeyman, which is the playoffs, and Patrick Mahomes before he can be in that air. But I say that because it felt like a different Ravens team, a different Lamar. Like, they got issues on defense that they're going to have to fix. But offensively, this is a team that historically, when you got on top of them, because they were a run-heavy team, they couldn't pass their way back and come back. And so for them to do what they did in that fourth quarter, and I was on the field hearing the crowd every single play on offense, they just got louder and louder, and it was like an expectation that their offense would come through when it had often been the defense for the Ravens. I just felt like it was a transition from this Ravens team for decades that has been defense first to now they officially put the mantle on Lamar, and Lamar is going to carry us. And, you kind of felt that. I think Lamar put a social media post up overnight about the Popeyes woman who's sitting outside on the bench.
Exhausted.
When they had the spicy Popeye sandwiches.
Yes.
He's just tired. He put the picture of himself doing it. He is carrying the Ravens. Like, he is the Ravens. He's the reason they win every week, in the same way that Patrick Mahomes is the way the Chiefs win every week. And I think this game kind of was a solidification of that.
Cam Wolf coming in hot, fresh off the jet, howling with the wolf on Theoretically Speaking. Man, this dude is firing. I'm curious because I said it earlier. Patrick Mahomes is the better quarterback between he and Lamar because he's consistently at his peak. He consistently does what he needs to do to make sure the Chiefs win. That's why he wins in the playoffs. That's why he has the 3 Super Bowls and whatnot. But at their best, at their peak, like best game, like, is Lamar Jackson kind of like better than Mahomes?
Ooh, so that's a great question because I got a spicy take that I think I figured out last night. I think that Patrick Mahomes, before it's all said and done, is going to be the greatest football player to ever play this game.
Yes, me too.
But I think that Lamar Jackson will be the best athlete who ever played this game. And I think that there's a different connotation for both. But I think that what Lamar Jackson does playing the quarterback position, no one else can do.
They can't.
Not Patrick either. Patrick can't run like Lamar can run. And I think that Lamar raising his passing ability like he has this last year, that's been his only question. Can he, if you take away his legs, can he pass? Last week he had a perfect passer rating, and he only ran one time. This week he only ran a few times, and he threw for, nearly 300 yards and came back, from a 14-point deficit. I think he is becoming a good enough passer, maybe not the level of Patrick, but a top 10 level passer, that the fact that he's by far the best runner in the NFL makes him just an incredible athlete at that position, something we've never seen. And I kind of compare it to, and I think, it's different generations, but, MJ to me will always be the greatest player.
Yeah.
But LeBron's athleticism, you can't argue that he's a better athlete than MJ. And, LeBron may never get the rings that MJ has, but because of his athleticism, because of his ability to do things, I think that people have him in a special aura. And I think that's how we will treat Lamar when he's all said and done.
From behind this season, PFF had this tweet. Lamar Jackson, when the Ravens were trailing in games this season, 1,038 passing yards, 273 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He has been near perfect as a passer this year. People are propping up Joe Burrow because he has really good individual stats and the Bengals are losing. Lamar has identical, if not better, passing stats than Joe Burrow to go along with the rushing this year. The dude is on pace for a historic season. I'm curious, though, Cam. You've covered the Bengals a lot in primetime games and big games. You've seen them in their good seasons and their bad. Are the Bengals cooked? Are they done with? Is it over?
They might be well done. I don't know if they're burnt yet, but they well done. I think
still edible.
Yeah, you might have to send that one back to the chef, unless that's what you like. I'm a medium rare guy. So
yes,
that's
sir.
way
Me too.
overcooked
I'm medium rare, so I'm just saying.
Some people might eat it though. Some people might eat it, and I think the Bengals are trying to sell us that it's still edible. They're trying to sell us that it's still edible, but we're pretty close. And they're 4-6. If you look at their schedule, there's a few games in there they can win. They have the Browns, they have the Cowboys, they have the Titans. But then they got to play the Steelers twice. They got to play the Chargers. They have no margin of error. They probably got to go 6-1 down the stretch against those teams I mentioned, to make the playoffs at 4-6. 10 wins probably is what you're going to need to get in. Maybe 9-8, but you have to win every tiebreaker. So I think they're right at the brink. And what's so frustrating for them is they've had a lot of one-score games that just haven't gone their way.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a Bengals coach in pregame, and he brought it up to me like, hey, the fourth quarter when you win is less about talent and more about mindset and culture, like the expectation that, you guys as a team will come up on top. Because you look at the Bengals, they have plenty of talent. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, you saw them running all over the field. That might be the best quarterback-receiver duo in the league this year. But talent does not win at the end, and it just seemed like when the Ravens needed to play, they made it, and the Bengals didn't. And I think that comes from an expectation, a culture, a mindset, and you can't find that. You can't find that in Week 10. That's something you either have or you don't. And so maybe they make a run, maybe they make a mix, but I think what I saw from them last night, I don't consider them a contender anymore. I think that this the contender era of the Bengals has ended.
It's over with. And so you're telling me that they know they're losers as well. I'll leave you with this, Cam, and let you get back to the fam. Glad that you got back in one piece. The Bengals have 4 wins this season. All 4 of those wins have come against teams that are currently 2-7. That's a bad football team.
Yeah.
Cam.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That is what it is. Cam, better luck next year to the Bengals. Howling with the Wolf. And I'll likely see you this weekend, man. Have a good one.
Love it, man. Enjoy it. Had the rest of the show great.
Yes, sir. That's Cameron Wolf, NFL Network, Howling with the Wolf on ESPN 106.3.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Festive fun is back on select nights. At Palm Beach Zoo, there's family fun. It's the best date night. Oh, Zoo Lights cheer, here at Palm Beach Zoo. Oh, what fun it is to save wildlife at the zoo. Hey!
Zoo Lights, presented by Florida Power and Light Company and Discover the Palm Beaches, Florida. Get your tickets today at pbzoo.org/zoolights.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
It's funny how we grade the quarterback position. It's just funny because I remember like 2 years ago on Get Up, Dan Orlovsky was saying Mahomes is the best player, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback. And now we're saying Lamar is the best player, Mahomes is the best quarterback. It's just funny. It's weird. What is that common denominator there? We'll talk about that. I do want to tell you, though, is joint pain affecting your quality of life? At Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery, as well as new, less invasive treatments, with the goal of returning you to what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting BaptistHealth.net/ortho. C-Cat, that's your quarterback. He's involved in that discussion. Best player, Mahomes the better quarterback. Best player, better quarterback. They both play the quarterback position. What are we saying when we say that?
I think we're saying that Lamar Jackson is playing the quarterback position in a way we haven't seen before. So, yes, I've never seen someone win football games consistently, reliably, with his arm maneuvering the pocket like Patrick Mahomes, doing those same tasks that you saw Andrew Luck do, that you saw these other guys who were the prospects of their generation like Trevor Lawrence, and then the guys who were at the top of the game in the generation like Peyton Manning and Drew Brees. We saw them do the same thing Pat Mahomes did, just not as good. We've never seen anybody do what Lamar does on a football field.
And the thing is, it contributes to winning. It contributes to winning. There had been a big push, in the history of the NFL, literally to have more brothers playing that position. And I'm starting to see why they was trying to constrict them from getting there in the first place, because these dudes is doing it in a way that I don't think can be replicated many places. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Cam Newton, Mike Vick, the quarterbacks we brought up today. Golly, it's just a whole nother dimension. I get why they were gatekeeping that position for so long. Haters. I know y'all ain't haters, so go in love, go in peace, go in joy. Russo and Rizzo next here on ESPN 106.3.
Experience the ultimate blend of luxury shopping, dining, and entertainment at the Gardens Mall. Just 1 mile east off I-95 on PJ Boulevard, this premier destination offers a mix of high-end brands, trendy retailers, and delicious dining. The mall's award-winning architecture, fine art, and lush landscaping create a stunning backdrop for interactive experiences and events. Whether you're shopping for the latest trends or enjoying the vibrant atmosphere, the Gardens Mall is Palm Beach County's top shopping and lifestyle destination.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award